What is up, Steeler Nation? We are back for another great episode, a great week. Football's almost here, Mike. It's getting out of control.
Training camp in about 1 week.
Yeah, and another great episode lined up today on the one and only, the Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. The Steelers are composing their team. And, man, we have a great guest on today. I actually have his trading card. I should have brought it out. I remember when the Steelers drafted him. So why don't we get to our great guest, talk some Steeler football, and kick off this week right. Jimmy, take it to the end zone.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Aaron Smith shields. Flacco, Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
All right, this dude, truly one of the best running backs in Virginia Tech history. He was a 7th-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2006. All-around good guy. Excited to bring on Cedric Hume. Cedric, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. How it is. Good to be up here today. Definitely.
Appreciate you jumping on. We're excited to pick your brain, learn a little bit more about you. My first question is, I think it's still fresh on everybody's mind because we've yet to hit training camp. The NFL draft, the Steelers, of course, take running back Caleb Johnson. I want to ask you about your NFL draft process and what that was like leading up to it, the craziness, the, talks with teams. Kind of give us a little breakdown about that.
Yeah, it was the process was definitely a little nerve-wracking, especially coming in and not being the highest total guy coming out of college. I definitely had to participate in combine, had to make sure I spoke with coaches, and had to do almost everything right, doing the pro day at the college, things, just trying to get you out there. And once you do that, it was still nerve-wracking. You got these calls, people calling you, teams coming in for you to interview. Like while you're in the combine, I went in and interviewed with at least half the NFL teams, talk to them. They ask you all types of questions. And again, it's nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, you have to just be confident in what got you there and your abilities. And that's what kind of calmed me down through the process to get me through it. Still didn't think I was going to get drafted, though, to be honest. But everybody around me, my agent, told me, you going to get drafted? I just didn't think so. It was a big surprise, but it was a joyous moment. Definitely was.
Did you know anything about Pittsburgh or the Steelers at the time, their rich history, their lineage, or just anything about the city?
Not much about the city. I actually do know a little bit knew about the team a little bit. I tell everybody when I was liking football, I started when I was younger. I was a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. But by the time I got to about high school, and people always ask me why I was at Tampa Bay, I have no clue, probably because of the colors. But then I started liking the players, with Warren Sapp and all up there. But the colors, I love the colors. But funny thing about it is I ended up being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when I was in high school. And it was funny that happened. Even though during the draft process, it kind of didn't, I'm just nervous. It didn't matter where. So for it to be the Steelers, that was a big thing. You knew a few of the players. By that time, I knew, Big Ben and Willie, of course, Hines Ward and them was playing, and love to see those guys play all the time. So coming there and to be there around those guys was oh man, it was exciting.
Yeah, that had to be a surreal experience. Ask rookies that jump on this show, who they looked up to in the NFL. Was there anybody that, you were a big fan of that you try and model your game after when you're playing, and whether it's middle school, high school, college, who were some running backs you were watching?
Probably a running back it was before my time, but because of my dad, he loved him and he showed me a lot of film on him, was Jim Brown. That's why I wore 32 in high school. I wore it at Virginia Tech. Of course, I couldn't get it in Pittsburgh because of Franco, But Jim Brown, I love watching. I used to watch film on him a lot. How he ran the ball, tough running. I even in high school, I had got his thing where he would I don't know if you see whenever he run the ball so much and they'll tackle him and he get up super slow, asking for help to get up almost, and everybody they got him. The next play he comes out, busts him again, and that's kind of how I adapted that when I was in high school. Was trying to do a little tricking out and stuff like that, but. just watching Jim Brown and the way he was. Of course, coming up, I definitely loved the Barry Sanders and things, but he wasn't my style of running. But one of my other famous favorite recently was LaDainian Tomlinson. I used to love watching him because of his complete game. And, I think he's one of the starts of having that running back to be able to play all over the field,
Well, a guy who loved himself some smash mouth football, the running back position, was Bill Cowher. Talk about an interaction or two maybe that you had with him, the chin, the emotion he would show. That had to be really cool, getting to know him a little bit.
Yes, he definitely shows his emotion. And I still remember one time I got the brunt of that emotion when I got fussed out one day. But I still remember to this day. And but it was one of the things, like I was running the ball and I didn't hit up in the hole. I kind of went outside a little more, and man, he came up, did his famous screaming and in my face. And but I didn't take it, of course, didn't take it hard. We football players, we know how that goes. But he definitely carries emotion. He definitely wants you to get better, do better, and he tried to have the perfect team. Of course, we all can't be perfect, but you get what I'm saying. But it was cool to work under him. I worked under him. I didn't get a chance to work under Thomas, but Cowher was definitely, it was good to work.
It's always great to hear those Cowher stories. So let's talk about your career a little bit. You battled some injuries. How difficult was that for you?
It was pretty, like my first injury, when I was at Tech, I ended up I broke my leg, down in my fibula, and tore some ligaments in my ankle. To this day I have 2 screws in my ankle. That was probably the toughest to get back, but luckily it happened during like the spring game, and I came back the next season. I wasn't 100%, but I was able to play, and I got it going. And funny thing, then my senior year, a few games in, was playing Marshall, and I ended up breaking my ulna, my forearm, and I have a plate and 6 screws in there right now. They're still in there, and of course they say I could get them taken out, but I would have to go through the.
What's it like going through TSA for you, man?
That's what they say. The funny thing, when I first got it, actually a couple of times it went off, but I had they gave me a card at the time to give to them to let them know. But after like the first 2 times, I never have any problems no more. And I think I don't want to say it's weird. I don't know, but metal's still in me, but I can go through. I don't get stopped anymore for it. So it was pretty wild though, just to know I had to carry a card in order to go through metal detectors. Yeah.
Do you wish you did anything differently as far as just career in general in football?
I think the main thing I think I should have did different for me is when I got to the NFL, played my game. And what I mean is, because I really believe when I came in, because I came in, if nobody knows, I came in the year after Jerome Bettis when he retired. And I was considered kind of a big bat, but I didn't really run like Jerome. I just want to be straight up the hole. I had a different type of game, but when the coaches came, I want you to hit this hole, I want you to do this. So I switched up my game to try to please them, but I wasn't getting the best out of myself. And I feel like I didn't show them the best way I could. And it ended up getting me on the practice squad at the end of the camp. They put me on practice squad, and not a funny story, but a really story was Joey Porter, the father, because I know the son's there. But I played. He was there on the team, and he taught. He probably wouldn't remember, but we was out one day. And he told me, he was like, "We watch you on film, the defense, and man, you're running through our defense. Like, why don't you show that out there like that?" And I was like, "Well, they want me to basically be like Jerome Bettis." And then I learned a life lesson. He told me, "Don't ever be you. That's the main thing. Was be you, play your game, because we have guys in the film room right now wondering why you're not on the roster." And that really kind of opened my eyes, because again, me being there, being 7th round, it still was a shock to me. Every day was a new day for me to try to make sure this is where I'm supposed to be, as in the fact that I made it here and I deserve to be here. So for him to say that, it really kind of woke me up. And I started playing like that. And the worst thing was, I hated that having Veron Haynes had got hurt. He was a 3rd down back at the time. And they was actually about to move me up on the roster. And I was out there playing in practice, and I pulled my hamstring really bad. And so I wasn't able to play that game. So what happened was, I guess, kind of got tired. It got me back to health, and then they released me. And that's when I went on and I went, working out for teams, and ended up the Giants had me for a little while, but it was at the end of the season, and that kind of ended my career after that. Fractured my neck.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well now, and we really appreciate the stories. What would you say with training camp coming up? What, rather than that memory, just talk about some memories up at St. Vincent. I'm sure our fans would love to hear from those stories.
And we had plenty. I remember the first story was, of course, being a rookie. The veterans getting the guys, and we had to during lunch we had to get rookies at least once. One person a day had to stand up on the table and had to sing a song.
No way.
And you could sing your alma mater or just sing a song. And funny thing, I didn't know my school's alma mater.
Yeah.
So I ended up singing Usher, Nice and Slow.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all know this song. Oh man,
yeah.
But the best thing about it was after probably like the first 3 or 4 lines, like everybody chimed in and everybody was singing, so it made me feel a little more comfortable. But I'm on top of a lunch table in the cafeteria by myself singing. I don't even know how to sing, so I'm just like, oh my god, I got to do this. Yeah. But I ended up doing it and finished out. And like I say, it made it better that everybody chimed in with me. But that was one of a big memory, man. It just main thing, and us being there, I say that's probably one of the most I remember. But we had a few good times out there.
We're not going to ask you to sing it. You're good. You got it out of the way. I thought about it for a second, and then you're good. You're good.
Go ahead, Mike.
That's awesome, man. I wanted to ask you. I'm sure you're still an avid follower of the NFL. Just about the evolution of the running back position. It almost seemed like, even just a year ago, 2 years ago, running backs were kind of being phased out. Like, contracts were getting lower, options were not being picked up. And then you have guys like Saquon and Derrick Henry who just pop off. Does it feel like the running back position, for lack of a better term, is kind of back?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think so too. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, they were phasing them out, and me being a running back, I was kind of mad, not really mad, but it kind of like, I know what a running back has to do, what they go through, of course, with other positions. But those guys out there working, like, and it was just like running back was like not a big player anymore. And I'm like, you need a good running back. And now, but I think once they found, again, like I say, like they really find these running backs that can be dual and triple threats, catching the ball, can run routes and things like that. And I think once they started seeing that, they kind of bring them out a little more. But like you say, the guys like Travis Henry and all them, those are just pure runners, and it ain't nothing you can do about that. That's a good running back that you can't deny that can carry the load, So they're bringing them back. They got to bring them back, I feel like. And I feel like if you want to be a truly successful team, if you got that running back that can do that thing, I think it really helps.
For sure. Go ahead, JY. Finish this off.
So I want to talk about obviously what you're doing now post-career, but we'll get to that. But what do you think about this current Steeler team? Are you keeping tabs on them? Just kind of talk about where you see them going this year.
What do you think about Aaron Rodgers?
That was the Aaron Rodgers thing was I was like, what's going on with this? When they're going through the draft, are we gonna get somebody? I know we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers to come, and like, what's gonna happen with this? So but us getting them, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, it's a veteran quarterback. It's Aaron Rodgers, first of all. You can't. It's definitely a good thing. I know a lot of people was thinking, even me, why didn't we get somebody younger that we can work with, things like that. But at the same time, being a player, you know how it goes. You get a guy in there, especially a veteran guy, and maybe get some younger guys on them that can learn from them and go that way. But, I mean, I hope everything gels together with Rodgers there. I mean, we always, for the last few years, we had the team, I believe. We had the players there, the team. Mm-hmm. I just feel like we couldn't get over the hump a few times. So it's all positive for me. I think the organization does what they do, and they do a good job at it, when it comes to the results. So I know they want to get over that last hump to get back into that championship Super Bowl days, so.
Yeah, that's the goal in Pittsburgh. You walk in 6 Lombardis, trying to get that one to finish it. Before we get you out of here, just talk about, what you got going on now and what you're up to, life after football. Obviously, under the helmets, everyone knows you as a football player, Virginia Tech legend. So just kind of talk about what you got going on now.
I've been I've been in education for about the last 7 years. I've been an algebra teacher, high school algebra teacher.
Awesome.
And now I'm just getting into data analysis. I'm trying to get into business intelligence analysis and doing data analysis and things like that. Things I like to deal with the companies. Like you say, I've worked with Coca-Cola and different big companies where I've seen how things work. And I was like, I can be at home on a computer doing some data spreadsheets and help this company out on how they're selling their products and what's the best for, how to get out to the customers and things like that. Always just data sheets and things I just like to do, the numbers and the curiosity of me. It just it worked out for me. So I've been transitioning into that. So I've been doing that. I coached for a little while, and I think after I transition fully, I'll get back into coaching. I just needed the time because working and taking certain courses to make sure it's there, kind of filling up time. But I want to get back to coaching, back high school. I was coaching over at Salem High School with Coach Jackson and all of them, and plan on getting back helping the kids. I mean, I do little things to help kids. We do back to school drives. We do things like that, kickball tournaments and things to help out the communities and stuff. But I want to get back out coaching and helping the guys. Just the knowledge I have, and you just kind of want to get it out there and get it to the other guys.
Most certainly, that's it.
Speak for Jordan. I might be throwing him under the bus, but personally, I was always a Coke over Pepsi guy. Always.
There you go.
Always Coke over Pepsi, man. Sprite,
I'm with that.
Sprite maybe my number one too. So
I heard that.
Hey, well, we really appreciate your time, man. It's been a pleasure. We'll definitely have to do it again, and best of luck in all your endeavors moving forward.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks, Cedric.
Got it. One of the things I always love getting the perspective on, JY, is the draft process. I can never hear enough about that from these guys. I want to be a fly in the room in those conversations with GMs, with scouts, evaluating these guys, putting up the big board and, adjusting it based on who's getting drafted. And then just being in the player's shoes that, I'm moving somewhere different. I got to pack my bags and learn about a new city and meet a whole new group of people I've never met. It's got to be so intimidating as a 21 or 22-year-old. So, a lot of, like you said before, a lot of people just think about the player under the helmet, but they don't think about what they had to go through to get to that spot and, all the hurdles they had to jump through. It's not always, based on talent alone. You got to, just like in life, you have to be really good at relationship building. And I feel like to get drafted and play football, they're doing a good job at that.
Yeah, and I think that, I was watching the MLB draft the other night and just seeing these kids, sitting there with their family. I mean, so much, emotion goes into that night because, you put everything out there to work towards your dream of getting drafted. And Cedric said it himself. He was like talking with his agent. He was like, all you need is your foot in the door. He didn't even think he was going to get drafted. And I'm sure to get that call and see your name pop up on the television was surreal. And at the end of the day, there's a select few that, could say that they played in the National Football League. And he was one of them and had a great career at Virginia Tech. So it's just really cool to hear the stories. And I always love that. Again, I know you're a big, you do 47 mock drafts. So to hear someone's personal draft story and kind of how it unfolded is always great. I love these episodes. These are some of my favorite ones. So yeah, but like we said in the beginning, Steelers football is here. The wait is over. Not much longer. August will be rolling around. So exciting stuff. Optimism, I guess, is at an all-time high. It was at about a 6 for me. I think no matter what, I tweeted it out. I like to stay positive, like Cedric said, but at the same time, I think that this could either be a Super Bowl run, or I think that this could be a complete disaster. I don't really see it as and I think that it will be good for the franchise because it could either set themselves up for the future or, possibly get a championship. So I'm here for it either way.
I think we're just excited it's back. So we'll keep the optimism for now. And, once they lose that first game, everybody, the sky will be falling and the world will be ending. But we'll save that until then for sure. So we appreciate everybody joining us today. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks to everybody who makes this thing go. And JY and the rest of the crew, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.